Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the exciting conclusion to the trilogy of building the Disney Castle Lego set here at CaseyBuilds Live. Trying to make it a little bit more exciting. I don't know if my voices help, but anyway, we are back, and we should be finishing up the Disney Castle today, and should have a few more little fun bits along the way. But we're definitely through the bulk of it. So we've just got four bags to go. Lex has already laid out our first one. And so we can go ahead and just keep on building. Switch back over here. And just a little recap. The last area that we worked on, we started working on this upper section up here. And there were a few little Easter eggs here. We had the Beauty and the Beast room. We have Lumiere over there, and the Rose under the glass dome, and then we have the kitchen. We have some pretty much Little Mermaid stuff going on there. That's the Chef Louis' area, but then we also have a little pumpkin for Cinderella, kind of mixing them together. And so we're just going to keep building up on this here and looking at the pieces in the next section here. We'll have some more fun stuff for people to guess at what they think they are. But yeah. Oh yeah, happy Memorial Day, everyone. This is a special Monday edition of CaseyBuilds Live. With the holiday, might as well get some more Lego building in. Why not? I know, or rather, last night we barbecued here, made a big old tri-tip, which was delicious, and we'll be able to get a couple of more meals out of it, probably. I wouldn't quite say it was as good as one of my brother's barbecued meats.
Yes, it was.
Lex thinks it was fine. I think it could have been a little juicier myself. But either way, it was just fine, and so we had a nice barbecue dinner around here. And most people are probably, today would be the day to barbecue for Memorial Day, but we did it yesterday. I know some of you out there might have other plans, Memorial Day plans today, like social distancing, neighborhood parties, and whatnot. We have not had the Oreo ice cream yet, actually, so it's been freezing. Once complete, it needs to be in the freezer for quite a while, so we'll be enjoying that this evening. We'll see if there's more than one serving of it. How's everybody else's long weekend going? Does it make any kind of a difference in your life these days that we have an extra day for a weekend? Can't imagine it changes stuff too drastically. So one of the things with this set, and which is kind of normal with these sets that have more of the smaller little areas with more fun little things to see in all of the different rooms, is I'm gonna say, unfortunately, there's the things like these foods here, which if you turn it upside down, they'd fall right out. So from here on out, as we're building this, basically you have to remember to be careful and not turn it upside down like you could normally do with most sets. because if you do, then the pieces will fall out. So just one of the things to keep in mind. And not like it's a huge deal if they fall out in the first place. They're obviously just sitting there, so you just put them back. My biggest concern with them falling out is not knowing exactly where or which bucket they were in, which I realize probably ultimately doesn't matter all that much. It's meant to be sort of a random little thing in the first place, but me being me, they need to be perfect. Let's give them made a little window balcony thing there. The castle has all sorts of cute and fun little pieces of flair here and there. And while some of them are a little more annoying to work on, oops, they are all pretty clever. So while I don't always enjoy doing the tiny detail work, it does achieve a good effect. They really put a lot of effort into this set to polish all those different little corners. As we like to say at work, they painted both sides of the fence. Doesn't matter if you're not going to see one side of the fence after it's complete. Just knowing that it's done is reward enough. Oh, right here, I can put my money where my mouth is with all the stuff I was just talking about. We're going to do more of these little hangy-offy bits I've been talking about each day so far with these little builds. A lot of the little detail flare around the edges, the top edges of the castle. I don't know if there's a technical term for this area, but those little guys, they're everywhere on this thing. Important distinction. You've got the elbow with a flat bend, and then you've got the elbow that actually comes to a point. Oops, and of course I grabbed the wrong one, or put the wrong one back. flavonoids. That sounds exactly like what it is. I think that is the correct term for that. Thank you. Flavonoids. Surprised that Alex doesn't know what the technical Old English term is for that piece of a castle. Figure if anybody would have had a shot at knowing that, it would have been him. I've already forgotten what the other word is. There's the Merlin. No. Yeah. Merlin?
Crenellation. Merlin.
The merlins are the inward bits between the crenellation. Merlin sounds a lot like a wizard. And here's another example. Oh, we're talking about these little flavonoids right down here. That would be on all over the castle. Little flavonoids. Yeah. Anyway, we have an opportunity here to once again see one of the concepts I've talked about a few times before. In the previous step, they had us put this rounded piece on here, and in the next step, we're just finishing off putting the other three. But by putting that one there, it kind of gives you a guiding place. So on the next step, when you go to do the three, even though because all of their steps, they always have you put things down in places that you could see. They don't. They won't layer things up so that you can't see where you're putting something. So this one you could clearly see where all of the pieces would have gone, but they don't have you put them all on. So they have you put the one on first to give yourself a guide with being able to see what's on underneath. And then they have you put all the rest of them on in the next step to subtly keep you from doing the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, we're going to just go with flavonoids. Why not? Where do you go? There you go. There. It's weird how I sort of mentioned this yesterday too, but it's weird how some very specific pieces can remind me of older sets, like the ones that I was just picking up, the elbow ones instead of the L's, the ones that have this angled side to it. For some reason, those remind me again of old castle Lego sets. And naturally, here we are using it again on a new castle. I don't think that's a coincidence. Really interesting too when you start, especially if you ever go to any of the other sites like Bricklink is a very common site that you can go to buy specific Lego pieces if you're working on custom builds or whatever. So you can go there and you can actually specify which pieces you want, and it's kind of like an eBay entirely composed of Lego pieces that people are selling, and they're all categorized and organized, and every single piece has a specific item number, piece number, but they all also have I guess just names, specific names, and some of them make a lot of sense, and then some of them, when you're going through, they just look kind of weird. I don't know, silly names. Naturally, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I remember the last time when I was going through looking for some specific pieces. I learned the names for some of these things that I had never known before. Yeah, I think I might have mentioned this in a previous build, but I had bought the Nissan GTR Lego set, and in fact I have it right there now. Bought the Nissan GTR Lego set, which looked really good, except it unfortunately didn't look like the one that I had because mine was all black. And so after I built it, I thought, well, hey, I have the instructions to put all of these pieces together in the order that makes it look like my car. They're just not the right color. So I went and sourced them all off of Bricklink and found the pieces in the instructions, which are all listed in the back, and I found the ones that were the wrong color, and simply went onto the site and ordered up all of the basic black versions of all of them because my car was black. And then when they all showed up, I just went through the instructions like normal and built it up, but just swapped in the black pieces when it would otherwise ask for white or red pieces. And it worked perfectly. The only thing that did not work perfectly by the time they showed up was my car itself, because I had gotten in an accident. And a Prius decided my car was too good for this world. Anyway. But it was a fun learning experience to find all of those pieces and do a quasi-custom build. This was really the first time I had gone so far off book with, according to the official Lego directions. Actually, that's not true. When I was a kid, I used to mix them all up a lot more. and build things that weren't necessarily in the instruction manuals. Here we are, we're building more flavonoids. Customizing a Casey minifig. I've tried before. The biggest issue, so I tried to do it using their online tools. The biggest problem is there are so many custom minifig options that just sorting through the pile of features was quite daunting. So it was tough to do that. I would like to do it though. And actually, a couple of friends, Jeff and Anna, one year as a present, they had given me a 3-pack of minifigs, which they had put together to represent the three of us. So they've gone further with that than I have. And they did a pretty darn good job. I know Anna frequently is watching this, so she might be out there right now. I haven't had really anything too terribly exciting to show you guys with this build at this point, other than just continuing on making progress. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have Lex's toolbox pieces here. Which we use as the crenellation areas between the merlons. There we go. Set that right across the top of all these flavonoids. That's gonna stick. Yeah. So there we go. Now I'm just thinking about that cookies and cream ice cream sitting there waiting for us to enjoy it. I've already been conditioned by this. I usually go in the step order, but as I was pulling the pieces out for this set, I saw that there were these three things, which I saw them and immediately assumed that that's what they're going to have to be. And without even thinking about it, I just started putting them together, and I just looked up, and sure enough, they're going to be there, but they weren't until a few steps beyond into this little mini section here, but it doesn't matter because that's what they needed to be. Okay. It doesn't look like there'll be any more of those in this tray because the little flat 1x1 pieces are all used up. So here's hoping we don't have to make any more. Okay, this comes over here. All of those. So one of the things that Lex and I have been needing to do that we finally did this morning, we almost got to it yesterday, but then life had a different plan. We got a bunch of boxes of DVDs that we no longer will ever use. That should just probably go away, but I can't bring myself to get rid of. Got them all up into the attic and out of our second guest room. So now we can actually start thinking about putting a second guest bed in here and being able to comfortably house multiple people. Cleaning up the clutter. Felt very accomplished.
Yeah, you didn't empty it.
I was always curious, since this set came out, every time that I've been down to Disneyland and I've been looking around in both the main Disneyland store in downtown Disney, but they also have one of the premier flagship Lego stores, official Lego stores down there, and in the downtown Disney area. And it is a pretty impressive store. It was one of the 6 stores in the country where you could buy one of these things when they came out. A big wooden Lego minifig. Super limited kind of a thing. Lego, big old wooden minifig. Yeah. Which I was lucky enough. I was actually there on the day that they started selling them, but I left that morning and didn't realize that I wouldn't be able to get one at the Lego store just down the street from where I live. And luckily my sister-in-law lives right there, and she handled going in and grabbing one for me, which was super thoughtful. How did I miss those pieces? Oh, I'm all a mess now. What did I do wrong? Anyway, the point I was going for when I started talking about that is I don't understand how, because they sell this big Disney castle. They sell these down there, and the box is obviously huge, and I wonder how often they're able to sell those, because unless I guess if you drove there it'd be a different story, but if you were flying, I certainly wouldn't want to have to carry that on. It's not like it's going to fit in your suitcase. So as much as I love the Lego store there, every single time I see it, it's one of the things that I think about. Certainly the smaller sets you can buy. And see, I missed something else here. What have I... Oh, that's why I missed a bunch of these pieces. It was because I missed this. I must have double hit the arrow and I went past this one. Shameful. Well, now I don't know which pieces I need and which ones I don't. Okay. This is embarrassing. Need everybody just to look away for a couple of minutes. Pretend I didn't do that. Yeah. Okay, we're back on track. Yeah, we're fine. I think. Call it good. Because for me, I take great pains to make sure that when I buy a box at the Lego store, I always inspect the box, and I need to make sure that it doesn't have dinged corners, or everything is nice and perfect as possible. And so the thought of taking this box and hauling it hundreds and hundreds of miles where anything could be happening to it during that process, I don't understand what kind of person could be okay with doing that. Certainly not me. Luckily, the good folks at Stevens Creek Valley Fair Mall Lego store have put up with me asking them to grab a different box from the back many times. So I definitely can't complain about the level of service that I've gotten there over the years. It's funny, I had mentioned one of the employees there, Cooper. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. I was talking about getting all of the tiny little Disney minifigs and going through all the bags, and maybe he's been watching, maybe he has, I don't know. But the first time I heard from him in a while was him actually commenting on the posts today that I put on Facebook, letting people know about this. It's just sort of funny how I mentioned him yesterday, and there he was. So this right now is doing some nice stuff. It's making us... Oops. Almost broke Lumiere. It's definitely not a... I don't know if this counts as a snot technique, since we're not on the top, but on the side. We're using strips of these to finish off areas here. You can see that we're putting that in there. So Just giving it nice, smooth, finished bits. Just to give it a nice extra piece of pop. Okay. And from here on out, if you guys could watch the step numbers on the side for me. Make sure I don't skip any like I did that last one. I think that would be better for all of us. Hey there, Steve. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're going to be done with this thing probably about an hour and a half. Getting close. We're about to have another fun, only a few pieces left in this, on this tray. We'll have some more fun guessing what Disney things we're building. Aside from obviously the castle, got lots of fun little Easter eggs. So we'll see some more in a minute here. Okay, well here's something. We have a treasure chest and a couple of water buckets. Little bitty water buckets. Let me see if I can hold that in a way that you can see it. So a treasure chest, water buckets, barrel. All that's going to go right up here. Put your thinking hats on. See if you can guess what that's all going to be for. See if I can figure out where these are actually supposed to be on here. Looks like that's supposed to be there. And it should be back here. And oops, broke my handle off. Fix that. Okay. It's tough. I'm trying to get these in here, and reaching up in there is kind of tough. Okay. All right, and next up, a little bit more. We have a few. We have a book to go in the treasure chest, and we have a couple of mops, and we have the sorcerer's cap. Put that in the chest too. And mops will go in this barrel here. So we have a fun little room up top right there. You guys go ahead and guess what you think that is. Oh! Jeff and Anna have shown up. How exciting! We were talking about you guys. Here we're building another little Disney prop. If you can call the things from these cartoons props. Can't think of a better name for them. And a little unicorn horn, except this one's gold this time. know you guys are... Oh, Anna on Jeff's account. Yay. Thanks for popping in, Anna. Okay. You've got this little guy. So we just finished with this room, which I'm now going to go ahead and let everybody know was, of course, Fantasia, Sorcerer's Apprentice. But you all knew that. Okay. And we're building another prop right now, which I'll show you in a minute. Thanks for moderating, Lex. Okay, let's see how that attaches. That attaches there. Okay. Anybody know what that is? More specifically, which movie it's from? Going to go up here in this hidden corner of the tower that nobody's supposed to go to. Yeah, Anna, I was talking, or rather my mom had asked about, had I ever thought about doing a custom Casey minifig, and my response to that was it was such an overwhelming process trying to go through all of the minifig parts to find the right ones. Oh, no. Well, that piece is gone. Technical difficulties, stand by.
You need help.
Nope, I got it. Oh. Yeah, going through all of those minifig pieces was such a daunting task, but somehow you guys managed to do that. So looks like you just took a lot of time to find them, which is very thoughtful. Now, I have one piece left on this tray. This tray's done, and I'm guessing, or rather hoping, that it's going to be on the next step, and that I didn't miss it on that one step way back when. And then I'm going to have to figure out where this guy is supposed to go, because that would be not fun. Okay, this needs to go over here. Finish off that one, and oh, nuts. Okay, so the one step that I skipped and did something poor on was that one. So I'm gonna say I actually didn't miss anything while I was building it, but rather when I was taking it apart, this piece should have been in the next bag. So we're just going to hold on to this. I don't think it needed to be anywhere here. I think it's going to be something in the future, and I just messed it up before. So let's get the next tray. Okay. Next tray. We have another very, very full tray here. So let's see if I can scooch things around. Anna, when you were going through all of those pieces trying to find the right minifig pieces at the store. Did were your boys there with you, and were they just having a blast playing in the Lego bins? Aha! I was right. It needed to be part of this bag. I put one piece back in bag 11 that was supposed to be in bag 12. I am not without flaw, despite what most people think. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, make some more of those. And do some more of these finicky little things for the sides.
FYI, we have burgers to barbecue tonight too.
Just told that we're barbecuing burgers for dinner tonight, so we'll be able to continue barbecuing for Memorial Day. Well, thank you, Anna, for taking so much time away from your boys to be able to make such a wonderful gift. Oh. Thanks for stopping by, Anna. I don't know if I've seen the Apple Dumpling Gang. Actually, I'm going to say I'm fairly confident that I haven't seen the Apple Dumpling Gang. Did just get a look from Lex when I said that, though. I have a feeling my days of having not seen the Apple Dumpling Gang are numbered.
Don Knotts and Tim Conway, you know, from
Carol Burnett Show? Yeah.
Are outlaws in the Wild West.
I'm familiar with the movie. I just don't think I've seen it. Okay, where are we here? So everybody figure out what the spinning wheel was supposed to be for? Again, I'm sure that probably wasn't too tough a one. It was in fact from the best old princess Disney movie, Sleeping Beauty. So we're building up some pretty impressive exterior detail for this. As you can see here, it's starting to look, I mean, I just tipped it and the thing fell out. That's what I told you not to do. So from the outside, it's definitely looking very, very... I broke it. Rats. Okay, I'm not going to pick it up like that anymore. All the things had fallen out of the inside that I had mentioned were just sitting in there. So proof that I wasn't lying about how easy it was for those things to fall out. Let's focus on getting this thing built up further. Trying to look at the pieces in this area here to see what the next little hidden piece will be, and I can't quite tell yet. As my brain is wandering to different things right now, it just occurred to me that of all of the movies that we put up in the attic, we'd intended to take out. So we took out Young Frankenstein because that movie, for whatever reason, is not available in the iTunes store, which is just crazy because we have all of our movies through the iTunes store, and pretty much every movie out there is in that store. And there are other Mel Brooks movies in the store, but that is one that is just inexplicably missing. But
Movies older than 1950 get spotted.
it just occurred to me that there was another movie I had been thinking I needed to take out because it doesn't exist in the iTunes store, and I didn't. And it is now up in the attic, and it's probably going to stay up in the attic. But it is, in fact, my favorite movie, True Lies. For some reason, True Lies is only available on DVD. Never made it to Blu-ray. James Cameron is dragging his feet on remastering it. And presumably once he does that, it'll be in the iTunes store. But now I won't be watching True Lies. Last time we watched it, we actually just grabbed the DVD, and it's probably the only DVD that I've watched in years because it's one of the very few movies that you can't watch streamed through the store. Luckily, I have a nearly Rain Man level memorization of the entire movie, so I don't actually need to watch it when I want to remember it. Which is my way of trying to make myself feel better that I just realized I'm not going to be watching it for a very long time now. Okay, this is interesting. Not that this is actually anything, but we're putting it up here, and coupled with the fact that it's over top of some of these flat pieces, it's going to give us an opportunity to do something interesting in this area. I don't remember what it is, but once again, it's some of those abnormal angles and interesting ways of getting pieces into those spots. So that's one of the things that I enjoy when I'm building these, is seeing the creative ways that they are able to put things together to get interesting and new combinations of pieces. Oh, do a live reenactment of True Lies. Huh. Yeah, one of the things that Taco Cub keeps sending me are links to this group that's been doing live streams of the different episodes of Star Wars from memory, script reads from memory. And they are, it's impressive how accurate they are. Oh, and they're doing it while drinking. So,
That is impressive.
yeah. Doing that with True Lies, that would be something. Alright, so now what we're doing here is, apparently we needed to have studs going out to the side, and this is giving us a way to be able to have them go all the way around like so. So that's pretty cool. Alright. And what do we all see up at the top? A 2x. Although this doesn't look like one of those times where we need to double everything. It looks like everything's already doubled. Sometimes they say 2x and you have to go through and then go back and repeat, and they don't list out all of the parts twice. This one looks like they're listing out double the number of parts, and I don't know why. I have a feeling that is a mistake in their instructions. The fact that that is not consistent, because their stuff is generally very, very, very consistent. And I don't know if I've described this accurately or well enough to be something you can understand. In this set, half the time, when it says 2x, and it says it right there, right in the corner, that little white corner, that 2x is showing that this area, this step needs to be done twice. And sometimes when it says 2x, it lists out one set of parts, and you go through, and at the end it has another 2x. And so you go back, and then you just get the parts again a second time. Sometimes, like on this step, it just lists out 2 times the number of parts necessary to go through it. And theoretically, that's something that should be consistent, and it's not in this case. So because all of their things are always very consistent, I'm guessing that was a mistake. Okay. These guys. Flip that back around. If we get to another spot that does a 2x and it's the other way, I'll see if I can point it out, draw some attention to it, and hopefully be able to see what I'm talking about. We have this nice area around here. Alright, we're building another prop right now. We get to see something else from a Disney movie in just a second. did you decide to build this set off instruction? I don't believe I ever intended to build this set off instruction. Assuming you mean building it without following the instructions. That would be madness. Almost done with this little prop here. It's actually pretty darn cute. Oh, AV Productions. Welcome to the stream. Okay, what error do you see? Thank you for pointing that out. What did I miss? Do tell. Yes, AV Productions. This one will be one of the permanent ones out. It will be out until it needs to not be out anymore. Which sometimes that happens, but no, this one, at least for the foreseeable future, will be out on the shelf just outside of the master bedroom. See, Alex, now I know you're just messing with me. So, that was very good. That was very clever. Haha. Obviously, I wouldn't make a mistake. Oh. Glad I could please you with my set location. Okay, here we go. Just an adorable little bed. So anybody know what that's supposed to be for? Man, that's a tight fit up here. I'm actually going to be perfectly honest here. I don't know which bed that one is supposed to be. It could be where Sleeping Beauty is. That could be from, well, these are all cartoons, so it wouldn't be from Bread Knobs and Broomsticks.
The colors make it kind of look like
Tangled, but the bed isn't really important in
Right.
Tangled.
So I think it's Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. Gosh darn it. I think that I'm being lied to. I choose to believe there is nothing wrong. So that's what we're gonna believe. Oh, King John's bed. Sure.
No,
That could be.
right.
Yeah. While my brother is tormenting me, feel free to, anybody else out there, think what other old Disney movies might have a bed that would be iconic. King John's bed is a really good guess. It is up in the top of the tower up here, but I don't know if the location in the castle really makes a difference.
Well, King Shauna is in the castle tower, and that's all they had to do was steal stuff.
King's John. Yeah, Lex made a good point. King John's bed was up in a tower. Which was how they got in to steal his stuff. They shot that arrow through the window. So that's a possibility, actually. I think that might be one of the strongest guesses so far. I call that the front runner. Trying to be very careful with these to keep everything flush. When you're building just a tower of one like that, they obviously don't lock into place perfectly, so kind of have to make sure that happens all on your own. Yeah, there's also a whole lot of flavor around this bed here with the coloring and everything, and given that, I kind of feel like the colors must correlate with whatever bed movie it is, and I can't picture the bed from Robin Hood, but this does seem I know there's the big wooden footboard at the on the bed, because as it flies forward toward the thing, it tips up and he's standing on the footboard. King John's bed. Oh, with the purple, and there's the footboard. Yeah, Lex just showed me a picture of King John's bed. I think that's absolutely what this is. It's got the fancy the draping up here. Good work, AV Productions. No, I think we found it. It's not the Sleeping Beauty bed. This is absolutely King John's bed. No question. I assume Lex found it by doing a Google image search for Disney Robin Hood King John Prince John, not King John. His brother's the king. Anyway, Google image search for Prince John
I did.
Disney Robin Hood's bed, and that's probably what's going to pop up. And it looks exactly like this bed. Very good. AV Productions, thank you. Okay. Yeah. The only thing missing from Prince John's bed is the little cradle that he has for Sir Hiss at the foot of the bed. Man, I just love that that's what that is. AV Productions, it almost seems like you should work at Disneyland or something. Raising some more of these big flat vertical pieces on the front here to finish it off with some texture, some variety. It's not terribly difficult to make Lego bricks all line up and be flat. It's actually takes a little bit more effort to try to make them irregular. Okay, Alex has made a decision. That's great. Curious what the decision might be. Please go on. AV Productions, I've been trying to not spoil those sorts of things for people, so I'm not going to tell you what it was or what that is, or that if that even exists, until we come around to it. Okay. Alex, I know you're messing with me. I appreciate your commitment to it, and that you really want to mess with me. That's fun for everybody watching, especially me. Thank you for adding that to this stream. realize it's kind of hard to see from the angle that camera's at. But we're getting a really decent looking front facade here. One thing to note also is when you're putting all these pieces up here like this is something that is common, especially for the more castle-y sorts of sets. But one thing you need to be careful about is when you're putting them up, you have to be careful when you're pushing on them, because it's really easy to push too hard and then it all breaks apart. That can happen very easily. Gosh darn it. Okay. Wow. Thanks for being so helpful, Alex. One of the fun things that Alex has done before was oh.
Checking what turn the faces around?
Yeah. Okay. Well, apparently it was my wife's idea, and Alex just helped her accomplish it. One time when he was visiting, I have all the there's a Xbox game called Lego Dimensions, where you have lots of Legos and a little pad that you put the Legos on that interacts with the Xbox game. So it's a interactive. You build Lego little Lego sets, and then you put them on the pad, and it makes things happen on the game, and then the game will say, okay, well now you got to take this apart, and they'll put some instructions up on the screen on how to take it apart and then put it back together in a different way. And anyway, there's just tons and tons of these little minifigs all over the place. And one time they decided to go in and change the heads of certain minifigs and
You didn't even notice when we told
swap some of them and turn some of them around backwards and make them wrong. So that was also a lot of fun.
It was.
I need to do some deep breaths here and recenter myself. All this fun memories. Okay, we got a lot more of these little unicorny bits that apparently Carol's a big fan of. To make sure all of these things are perfectly aligned, not just for myself, but for those eagle-eye viewers out there. Wouldn't want to disappoint you with misaligned pieces. I know that is something that everybody expects. Okay, we're about to have some fun little pieces here. Uh-oh. Yeah. I'll hold them up for you in a second. Okay. So, does anybody know what that is? I know AV Productions knows. But we're gonna put it in this little case. It fits in here. Rather, it's supposed to. Come on. Walk it away. So again, if you want to see it there. Real neat little canister, and it just, for some reason, it just sits over here. I don't know why it doesn't have a better place to go, but it just sits in this little gap over here. Try to see if you can figure out what that is. Take a guess.
Oh, come on.
And then right next to it, we have this. We have this little book that we built that opens up, and inside of the book, I don't know if you'd be able to read it or not. It actually says "Once Upon a Time." It's real cute. So you can close the book, and that's going to sit right next to what we all can tell. I actually couldn't. This was the piece that this was the thing that AV Productions figured out that I didn't know what it was, and that was Cinderella's glass slipper. And that may be obvious to some of you. It was not obvious to me. I completely missed it. We are almost done with this bag. Oh. Very good. Another top bit for the castle somewhere here. Let's just get the rest of these pieces. There we go. Done with that one. One of the things that they've been doing in a few of these other spots that you might not have been able to see is finishing off the roof with these, I'm going to call it more greebling. Attempt to not get that word stuck in my head again. And then this one will actually sit on top of this hidden little area that I was mentioning before. So it really is, this is a very hidden spot that is completely blocked off, that when you're looking at this set after the fact you would absolutely not know exists unless you built it, because you actually have to remove this piece right here to get to it. So on to the next tray. So thoughtfully brought over here. I think this piece gets set aside for a while. Okay, and let's make our little Tinkerbell. Tink is going to be a little pants free. Oh, she's going to be bottoms free. So one of the things that she's supposed to have on is this little green dress, and but it's some of the material that I feel like gets ruined really easily, so I don't take it out of the thing. And so we'll call it, she's in a little leotard. That's what we'll say. We'll just set her off to the side with everybody else here. How are we doing on time? 3:30. Oh yeah, we're doing great.
This side's small, but it's all over.
Okay. Yeah, right now we're basically, so this piece is going to sit here, and now we're building another spire that's going to be part of this area here. Probably leave this off over here like that.
I can't build the characters on it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have all of the minifigs that Cooper had helped me find at the Lego store. And the first time I had this out, I didn't have them all. I only had the ones that came with the set, the 6 over here. But now I have so many more. And so they're all gonna live in the castle here. That's a real interesting piece. Oh, yeah, so they have these little guys here, which actually are, it has a really handy, you can see right, there it is, right here in the corner, this little yellow icon in the instructions. They really don't want you to poke anybody's eye out. Because these little guys, you put a piece in, and then when you pop it, little guys can really fly. It's kind of impressive. So whenever they have one of these sorts of things on a set, they accompany it with their, I'm guessing, foolproof legal cover to not poke your eye out with it. In fact, this is going to be for something that I know Brian and Allie were actually really concerned about, was how are we going to accomplish the fireworks with the castle, and that's actually what those are for. It's to blast out little fireworks. Which ultimately, in my opinion, sounds like a great way to lose pieces. Because there's no way you could blast out little pieces all over the place and then find them all. But in theory, that's how one would blast out fireworks. Did I do it again? I did. I missed a step. Getting sloppy, apparently. Yeah, this has been a rum-free build, and I'm still missing stuff. Okay. There we go. So yeah, you can see the little cannons there on the front. So this will just blast out firework pieces. So for some reason, the higher up the castle we get here, the more modular these bits keep getting. Sure would have been nice if it could have just been this way the entire way up from the beginning. As much thought as Lego puts into all of their sets and the way things go together. I don't know if they think about the deconstruction process as much. I think that's a pretty niche thing. There was actually a really interesting link that I saw on the Brickset website recently that was talking about there are 4. Why am I not having an adult beverage? Well, because they don't allow adult beverages at Disneyland.
They do in Club 33.
They also allow them in the canteen. Yes. Thank you for correcting me.
Someone's gotta keep you honest.
So I was reading an article over on Brickset, which is one of my favorite Lego sites, and there was an article talking about pieces, putting things together and taking them apart, and how effectively there are 4 different states that a build can have. Either you can put it together and take it apart. So that's the first state. You can assemble it and disassemble it. The 4th state is basically an impossible creation, something that you could neither put together or take apart. The 2nd state was things that you could put together but not take apart, which is possible when you have, sometimes you have little short rod bits that can go inside of something else, and it is possible that you can put that inside of something that is impossible to remove it from. So naturally Lego avoids those sorts of steps. But the 3rd set, so that was 1, 2, and 4. But the 3rd type was a set that they wanted people to brainstorm and come up with an idea for something that you could not actually build, but you could take apart easily. Oh, I don't want to talk about decals. Yeah, we're gonna stay in a happy place. But yeah, it was a really interesting idea to come up with something that you couldn't build it, so you wouldn't be able to put it together. That was the thing. It wasn't just that you could build or take apart. It was stuff that you could easily build or easily take apart. Things that don't require any kind of illegal Lego building processes. I don't know. But yeah, and it was neat. Somebody came up with an idea for something that you could not actually build, but if you were to get some pieces that were magically in that state, you could take them apart. Anyway, it's really neat idea. Very different. Oh, and we're working on another prop here. I'll hold it up for you guys in a second. Is that done? It's not done yet. Okay. Okay, there you go. How about that? Let me just put that on the wall over here. That's an easy one. Magic mirror. Snow White. I'm sure everybody knew that. That's why I didn't wait to tell you. If you saw it, you knew what it was. Make a showing down the street at the afternoon. Feel free. We are not too far from being done. Probably a half an hour out or so. Yeah, if you guys need to run, that's fine. I'm just gonna keep building. Don't forget your face masks. I know the last time Dad was here, he saw the way the ones that Katie made for us worked with shoelaces, not shoestrings, shoelaces that wrap around your head, and that worked really well. So I don't know if he upgraded your guys's yet. I think we're about a half an hour out. You could also do a neighborhood viewing party of CaseyBuilds sometime. I'm just coming up with wild ideas. Can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to do that. Alright, I'll work on it another little bit here. I'm not sure what this is going to be. It's obviously something on the top of this spire, but not sure where we're going with it yet. Needs to be in there. Okay. Enjoy your walk up the street. Okay. What direction does this need to go? Let's see here. Something like that. So that's interesting the way that fits together. Still not quite sure what this is going to be. Oh, it's just going to be just a little offshoot spire off to the side here. So it'll be just a little more authentic mimicry of the architecture. Also, geez. Well, it would appear I've been doing this entire thing in reverse. So this piece needs to come off and needs to be going outward. Boy, I am lucky at how easy of a fix that was. Okay, I don't even know how I did that so very, very wrong. I'm not sure how that happened. We're just gonna keep putting some authentic Disney flavor on the castle here. Which they're able to do a pretty good job of, impressively good job of replicating the look of a lot of this stuff. Look at how that all came together, and it's got it all ends up looking like the spire should look. Okay, more unicorn horns. Oops. Those in front of everything. I think.
In this bag separately, or are they coming out too?
I'm going to do all that after. Yes, unicorn time. AV Productions. I know at one point in time, Lex had me record something on the TV, and she was playing Rock Band to send to you. And I can't remember if we ever did, involving a unicorn. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Alexis needs a mic. You'd just be hearing all the sass that I hear all during one of these things. That seems unnecessary. So many unicorn horns. There we are.
Wait till you see the next one.
Oh. Okay. Got all those done, and we're just gonna dump all of that out like that. There we go. Oh, that's a little okay. Let me see here. Okay, so we got some more little bits.
Bibs and bobs.
Here we've got an apple that we're going to put right next to this magic mirror that's on the wall. Anybody has any ideas what that could be? And then we also have we've got this treasure chest that is going to have some hair, a hairbrush, and some scissors. That's going to be below it, but once again, this is all up in the tower. So what Disney property would have placed an importance on hair for someone up in a tower, I ask you? There is an answer to this one. Okay, and let's take some fireworks and put our fireworks. We'll load the cannon here. Pink, yellow, blue. So we've got these really fun fireworks that we'll put in the front area here. Snow White and Rapunzel. Very good. Very good. Okay. And then, I don't know what we're supposed to do with the extra fireworks. They didn't really give us a spot to put them. Just off to the side. Okay. Well, we are finally on the last bag, so let's go ahead and finish this off. then we'll be able to put all the big pieces together and have ourselves a complete castle. There is going to be so much finishing work in this set, and that does not make me happy. I hate all of the little details. I like how they look. I appreciate that they're there. They're boring to build. Hey! Welcome back, Cordy. Yes, that's almost perfect timing. We're on the final bag here. And we will be done in no time. We're working up on the final spire here. Too many pieces left. Cordy, I cannot remember. Do you also have the Disney Castle set? Can't remember if you have this one or not. Also, the tan piece here is another one of the funny little Lego pieces. It's kind of hard to see. It's ridged, and on this side the ridges are horizontal, and on this side the ridges are vertical. And it's another piece that they use to give it some flavor, just to give more texture to it. And you just have to pay attention to it to see which way. Not that it would not build if you put it in the wrong way, but making the ridges go the way that they ask you to in the build, just to keep everything the way they want it. Alright, as Lex warned me, there's tons of tiny little pieces here, which means tons of tiny little finicky bits. Oh, well, I think that's a fine idea. I don't know why you wouldn't want to replace your space display with that. I think you should. Just because you were able to watch me build it here doesn't mean you shouldn't build it yourself. Perhaps when you build it yourself, you could challenge yourself to make the Lego word on the top of all the pieces go the same direction. Oops. Oh, back in the office as in at work. Not home office. I misunderstood. Well, yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. Oops. One of the things that never know who's on and watching when I talk about certain things, but one of the things that we talked about recently on here was how much fun it would be if they made Disney has their Jungle Cruise movie coming out fairly soon. Well, actually now I don't know when it's supposed to come out. I don't know if that date has changed. But I think it'd be great if they made a Jungle Cruise Lego set. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd wear a dashing Jungle Cruise hat while I built that one if they were to make one. Oh, we're getting awfully close, except for all these tiny little finishing pieces. So many. And these pieces are actually kind of delicate because there's not a lot holding them together. So you really need to make sure that they're lined up correctly when you're pushing them down. Otherwise, you end up breaking your entire spire. Not that I've ever done that. The sets of mine that are stranded at the office right now, I've got a Mega Blocks set of the Enterprise from Star Trek, which was not fun to build and just wasn't very inspired, but I got it because it was a super cool looking Enterprise, and building it was as awful as I thought it was going to be. So that's on on display at the office, and then though the GTR sets, both my custom one and the original, those are on my desk at the office too. So, oh, and a whole bunch of Lego architecture sets. I like to build the sets for the places that I've been, and they're on top of all my shelves going around the top of my office. Probably have, I'm going to say 10 of them up in there, maybe more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of those. Oh, and just a ridiculous number of those little guys. Okay, I'm not going to count them out. We'll be able to see if they're all in place once I finish building this thing. Ew. Not fun at all. Come on. Okay, so that's 12 pieces plus 1 on the back is 13, and we're going to build 2 of those, which will be 26. So there's one. In fact, just do that up ahead of time. So one of the things that I have for this set, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. But my friend got me a lighting kit for this set, and I was trying to think about whether or not I should do it at the end of this build to finish it off. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I'll do another stream, and it'll be a quicker one of me trying to figure out how to put that on. It's gonna be a little more raw than this one because the instructions are not very good. I don't know if that's fair. The instructions are very different than the Lego instructions. There's actual pictures of doing things, and the instructions are telling you poke up this piece here and feed a wire through this area, and so it's it's not as elegant as these instructions are. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to how it's going to look when I get it done. So instead of having it be part of this, I think I'll do a separate stream so that it can be its own thing. And I'll do that sometime later. Also, because I'm doing lights, it might be better to do it at night where I can turn off the lights and then turn it all on. And it would look better. So, I think that's what I'm going to do. Plus this one, we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, yeah, I think we finish this guy off and call it good, and then we'll do that for a separate project. Sound good, everybody? Sure, everybody is out there agreeing with me right now. Oh, so many tiny little pieces. Also, with the lighting kits, the all of the light that you run are supposed to plug into USB, not USB-C, but USB-A port. So you basically need to buy a USB hub to plug everything into. I actually don't even have one of those. I need to go get one of those for when I do the lighting. So I don't have one yet. Alright. Orientation of this sky. That guy like that. That guy like that. There we go. We have a quasi-shiny by Lego Standards gold spiral. Or spire. Not spiral. Oh, so many more unicorn bits. Ugh. Okay. Well. Here we go. No, it's okay. Run away. Okay, and these need to all go around on this side. Carefully. There we go. Oh, 8 more. Awesome. Really, this is like being in line at Disneyland. They're clever. They make you feel like you're done, and then you loop back around and have a make some kind of turn, and then you have another half an hour to go. Playing psychological mind games. Okay, done with the unicorn bits and bobs. Okay, I think we're on the last step here, as far as putting things together goes. And then we put it all up together, all together. Make sure these pluses are aligned. There we go. Nope, missed it. Turned it. Good. Okay. There, great. Now we just build them up. And we're going to be done with our castle. So those are going to go in my extra pieces bag, I think. And spire. You know what? Now that we're not, I should probably change. Let me guys give you guys a better angle. Okay. So we're gonna take this guy. We're gonna add this to him. Man, I should have had a wide angle camera ready. Didn't think about that. The set is so large, it's going to be kind of hard to be able to take it all in. Alright, so now we have this whole thing all together, and that's going to go up on top of the castle here. For the final step, I think. Let's see here, 759. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so here we go. Final step in the process. This guy goes up here. It's gonna sit there. There we go. And now we have our complete Disney castle. I'll try to hold it up here. There we go. Big old spire on that side over there. Complete build. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this off to the side like so and flip back over to try to give a better view from this camera. Nope, not gonna happen. It's too big. I think when I was holding it up before, it was probably the best. The last little finishing touches we're gonna do is, and one thing that you can see here, the fireworks are ready to be shot right out of the front. We're gonna go ahead and take all of these. We're gonna switch back over. Let's take our Tinkerbell and attach her somewhere up here, since she should be flying. So we'll put her up at the top up here. It's probably a good spot for her right there. Give us an opportunity to use the holes on the back of the legs, which don't you really use a lot with minifigs. So we got that one in place, and I will put Mickey and the gang on the steps here, which we can do like that. That one. Mickey doesn't need to be holding the bow anymore now that we have so much other stuff. Let's see here. Put Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy. Full gang, and we'll put our bow back there with all the rest of it where it's supposed to be. That's that. Guys, we finished off the Disney Castle. Huge build. Happy to have it done. Can't wait to put it in place. Like I said, I'll take the lighting kit and we'll make that another stream. Should be pretty interesting coming up here. Doing that. I just need to run out and get a USB hub at some point to be able to make it work. But thanks for everybody that stuck through the whole thing. Thanks for staying here and watching me get through this whole big set. Next set we'll go back to some smaller sets going forward, and we'll just do it again next Saturday, same time, 2 o'clock. Pacific. And yeah, we'll do some smaller sets. Haven't figured out what the next one will be yet. But we should be able to get through it in a sitting. So everybody enjoy your Memorial Day. Thank you so much for showing up. And maybe go out and get some barbecue or something. Try to stay cool. See you guys next time.